We're starting a new story today called The Stolen Party by Liliana Hecker. The Stolen Party was written in 1994. Make sure you write that down in your story as well. We're on page 7. It was written in 1994, which is 90 years after The Gift of the Magi was written. So something that we can infer straight off the bat is that The Stolen Party might be easier to read. Okay, so that's something for us to keep in mind. The Stolen Party should be an easier read than The Gift of the Magi. Here we go. Have your pencil ready and be copying down my annotations. You can also stop this video at any moment to take down your own annotations or write in your own questions. As soon as she arrived, she went straight to the kitchen to see if the monkey was there. It was. What a relief. She wouldn't have liked to admit that her mother had been right. Monkeys at a birthday, her mother had sneered. Get away with you, believing any nonsense you're told. She was cross, but not because of the monkey, the girl thought. It's just because of the party. So the first paragraph starts off in the middle of an action. This is called in medias res. It means that we're starting in the middle of an action. You should stop the video and take that down if you need time to write that down. So we're starting right in the middle of something. We're starting in the middle of a party. It seems like a birthday party. And there's a monkey at a birthday party, but her mother doesn't believe her. Okay. I don't like you going, she told her. It's a rich people's party. So I'm seeing here that maybe there's some sort of judgment against rich people. The protagonist and her mother might not be rich because they're defensive towards rich people. Rich people can go to heaven too, said the girl who studied religion at school. Get away with heaven, said the mother. The problem with you, young lady, is that you like to fart higher than your ass. So this is a pretty strange phrase. I'm not quite sure I know what that means. I'm going to make an inference. I think that this might mean that the girl doesn't know her place. Her mother is saying that you'd like to hang out with people who are maybe outside of your range. So the mother is telling the daughter that she likes to associate with people who are higher and richer than her, and that shouldn't be the case because the mother, like we saw, is not maybe so keen on rich people, maybe doesn't trust them. Okay. The girl didn't approve of the way her mother spoke. She was barely 9 and one of the best in her class. Gonna underline that or note that. So she was barely 9, so 9, she's a young girl, smart, very intelligent. I'm going because I've been invited, she said, and I've been invited because Luciana is my friend. So there. Okay, so now we've got a name. Luciana is the name of her friend, and it's Luciana's birthday party that our protagonist has been invited to. The tone of our protagonist sounds pretty proud, excited, wanting to prove her mom wrong. Ah, yes, your friend, her mother grumbled. She paused. Listen, Rosaura. Okay, now we've got a name for our protagonist, our main character. She said at last, "That one's not your friend. You know what you are to them? The maid's daughter. That's what." Rosaura blinked hard. She wasn't going to cry. Okay. So now we've got some clues. The maid's daughter. So if Rosaura is the maid's daughter, we can make some conclusions about what she might be like. Maid's daughter, so she doesn't come from a rich family. Her mother is a maid and isn't of the same social class as Luciana is. Okay. Her mother doesn't believe that Luciana could be Rosaura's friend. We see that she's saying, "That one's not your friend." Then she yelled, "Shut up, you know nothing about being friends." We see that Rosaura doesn't really believe her. Every afternoon she used to go to Luciana's house and they would both finish their homework while Rosaura's mother did the cleaning. They had their tea in the kitchen and they told each other secrets. Rosaura loved everything in the big house and she also loved the people who lived there. Okay, so now we see more about Rosaura and Luciana's relationship. Rosaura's mother is Luciana's maid, is Luciana's family's maid, and that's how they know each other. "I'm going because it will be the most lovely party in the whole world. Luciana told me it would. There will be a magician and he will bring a monkey and everything." Okay, so now we see the monkey coming back, right? The monkey from the beginning of the story. Okay. The mother swung around to take a good look at her child and pompously, so circle that word if you don't know it, pompously. Circle that word if you don't know it. Pompously means like she knows everything, kind of bragging. So she pompously put her hands on her hips. "Monkeys at a birthday," she said. "Get away with you, believing any nonsense you're told." So this piece of dialogue looks familiar. It actually comes from the very first line of the story. "Monkeys at a birthday," her mother had sneered. "Get away with you, believing any nonsense you're told." Okay, so now we see we started in the middle of the action, right? In medias res. In the middle of an action, we started the story. So now we have a context for what has happened here. As soon as she arrived, she went straight to the kitchen to see if the monkey was there. It was. What a relief. So now we know Rosaura did arrive at the party. Back to the story, we're at the last line of page 7. Rosaura was deeply offended. She thought it unfair of her mother to accuse other people of being liars simply because they were rich. Okay, so we know that Rosaura doesn't share the same kind of concern or doubt towards rich people that her mother does. Rosaura doesn't share the same kind of concern or doubt towards rich people that her mother does. Rosaura too wanted to be rich, of course. If one day she managed to live in a beautiful palace, would her mother stop loving her? She felt very sad. She wanted to go to that party more than anything else in the world. "I'll die if I don't go," she whispered, almost without moving her lips. We see here, "I'll die if I don't go." We see an example of figurative language. Remember that figurative language is the opposite of literal language. She's not really going to die if she doesn't go to the party, but she wants to go so much. She's so desperate to go that she thinks she'll die if she doesn't go. So the tone that we have here is desperate, desiring. Okay. And she wasn't sure whether she had been heard. But on the morning of the party, she discovered that her mother had starched her Christmas dress. If you don't know the word starched, make sure you circle that. Starched means to put starch into cleaning a dress or a piece of fabric to make it more stiff and clean and proper. So we see that even though Rosaura's mother opposed Rosaura going to the party, she's actually starched her Christmas dress. She's prepared her best dress, her Christmas dress, her finest dress. She's prepared it so that Rosaura can wear it to the party. If we read between the lines here, we see that her mom has actually given her permission to go to Luciana's birthday party. And in the afternoon, after washing her hair, her mother rinsed it in apple vinegar so that it would be all nice and shiny. Before going out, Rosaura admired herself in the mirror with her white dress and glossy hair and thought she looked terribly pretty. Okay, so we've got kind of a Cinderella tale here. Rosaura has prepared herself. She's got the perfect outfit. She's got her hair ready. She's all ready to go to the party. Senora Inés also seemed to notice. As soon as she saw her, she said, "How lovely you look today, Rosaura." So people notice that Rosaura looks great. Rosaura gave her starched skirt a slight toss with her hands and walked into the party with a firm step. She's walking in there with a firm step. This shows me that Rosaura is confident. She's not ashamed to go to a party with the rich people and feels that she belongs there. She said hello to Luciana and asked about the monkey. Luciana put on a secretive look and whispered into Rosaura's ear, "He's in the kitchen, but don't tell anyone because this is a surprise." Okay, so we've got a secret here. Luciana has shared a secret with Rosaura about the monkey. Why would we not want to tell anybody about the monkey? That's a question I have. It's a level 2 question that I have because it's going to require me to read between the lines. I'm going to put that here. Level 2 question. Why would Luciana ask Rosaura to keep the monkey as a secret? I'm going to keep that question for myself. Rosaura wanted to make sure. Carefully she entered the kitchen and there she saw it, deep in thought inside its cage. So we're talking about the monkey. The monkey is being kept in the kitchen. It looked so funny that the girl stood there for a while watching it, and later, every so often, she would slip out of the party unseen and go and admire it. Rosaura was the only one allowed into the kitchen. Okay, so we've got something here. This is interesting. Why is Rosaura the only one allowed into the kitchen? Why not any of the other friends at the party? This is interesting. Maybe a little bit mysterious. Senora Inés said, "You, yes, but not the others. They're much too boisterous." Okay, circle that word if you don't know it. Boisterous, meaning making too much noise, too rowdy, misbehaving. So Senora Inés says, "You, yes, but not the others. They're much too boisterous. They might break something." Rosaura had never broken anything. She even managed the jug of orange juice, carrying it from the kitchen into the dining room. She held it carefully and didn't spill a single drop. And Senora Inés said, "Are you sure you can manage a jug as big as that?" Of course she could manage. She wasn't a Butterfingers like the others, like that blonde girl with the bow in her hair. As soon as she saw Rosaura, the girl with the bow had said, "And you? Who are you?" "I'm a friend of Luciana's," said Rosaura.